Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And today is Friday, August 7th, and I want to do a card reading on the Lion's Gate, the 8-8 Gateway. I actually did a little Kabbalah on it if you want to check that out. I think I did that yesterday, or did I do that? Yeah, I think that was yesterday. So I'm going to use a deck I haven't used before. I love this deck actually, but I've never really used it myself. And a friend of mine sent me her copy. It's the the Heindel looks like Heindel, Haindl tarot deck, and yeah, it's got some really cool images, and this is the image on the all-seeing eye, as it were. And look, it's I actually did not realize this, but it is gold. It's a golden eye, and don't lions have golden eyes, right? So and the color, of course, is very sunny, and of course that's what Leo is ruled by the sun. So I thought I would use them for the first time with you guys and ask that question. So thank you, Karen, for sending me the deck. And Karen and I have been friends. We met in chiropractic college. She is a chiropractor and a acupuncturist in Park Slope, Brooklyn. So if you need somebody, she's amazing. Um, but we've been on the journey together for a long time. The journey of the healer. And we would read each other's cards and stuff all the time. So she's very good too, but she doesn't really do that. I wish she'd do it more because she's so good. But um, you know what? So let's see what's up. And we have the Nine of Swords. Oops, sorry. I forgot that the camera was above. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords here. This is the card of cruelty. And it really does feel like it really does sort of feel like humanity's getting to a point where this suffering and unending war and all of this stuff is not something that people want to experience anymore. I feel like it's not that. I mean, to a certain extent, I'm not sure we're quite to this point, right? But many people are, tired of this. I'm trying to see what this is. Hold on a second. There's something. Huh. There's something sharp coming through here. I don't know what it is. Okay, well, let's see. It might come up. It might reveal itself. Let's see the challenge. This is the Two of Wands. It's called Dominion in this deck. And it's interesting because we have the Two of Wands crossing each other, right? X marks the spot. But it's preventing us from going into whatever this is, whatever um, this pathway, this sort of portal. And it looks like it looks like a very ancient sort of catacomby almost um, building, right? So we have this cruelty, and then we have this Dominion card as the challenge. And so the question is, how do we stop? How do we stop being cruel? How do we stop hurting one another? What sickness of the mind creates the need for people to do that to one another? Let's see what's at the root of this. This is the Four of Pentacles. It's called Power of the Earth. So the Four of Pentacles at the root of this reading says to me that at the root of all of this, how do we stop this? Like at the root of everything is profit, is the ability for those who have all the money to profit on the pain of others, profit on their pain. Let's see what's in the past. We have the Moon card. Of course, we've just come out of some very powerful lunations, eclipses, and even the ones that weren't eclipses were very powerful. And the moon really speaks to our fear. It speaks to the emotional ups and downs that we get caught up in, the roller coaster ride oftentimes. And that creates a lot of energy, but it doesn't, it creates a lot of energy, but the energy sort of stays and feeds off of itself to a point where you can just, because you can't let the emotions flow through you, and they're flowing in circles within you, it creates a break. It can create a break. So in the past, there is this energy of just crazy, and I feel as though part of, oh, okay, so what I'm getting is that part of this whole um this Four of Pentacles here and then the moon here is there is a level here where we're talking about the disempowering of the feminine, the disempowering of the feminine, because the moon is considered the place um of the woman, right, of the goddess, and earth is a feminine element. Earth and water are both feminine elements. Fire and air um, are masculine elements because they rise up and the feminine comes down, right? So that's the energy, but it's the balance of those two. It's that harmony between that which falls down and that which comes up. The triangle pointing up for fire and then air, and the triangle pointing down for water and then earth, right? So, but when you bring that together, we get the Merkaba, and that can only happen in the heart. And that can only happen in the heart. So let's see what's in the sky. Chief Seattle, Son of Stones. Son of Stones in the west, or the Prince of Stones. Oops, there he goes, Chief Seattle. And, he was, let me see what it says in the little book here. But we always see his quotes about if you don't take care of the mother, you'll destroy yourself pretty much. Let me see if I can find the stones. Just see what she says here. Chief Seattle was one of the last leaders of a nation of Native Americans on the northwest coast of North America. His hair blends into the rocks. The eagle feather, a symbol of the Plains people, indicates that he spoke for all natives. The lightning bolt from the whale above shows the bond between human and animal, taking action to make positive change with the benefit of the next 7 generations in mind. I love that. So this Prince of Stones, is offering the gift of and the energy to help support the idea that we have to start loving our mother. So I feel like the Lionsgate up to this point now, I haven't done the whole reading. It almost feels like the Lionsgate is opening us up to the real possibility of stopping, just stopping and then flipping, right? Going in the opposite direction. That's interesting because when I did the astrology for August, second week of August, looked like um, it was going to be beyond our wildest expectations of what could happen for us. And that's happening right after the 8-8 portal, because the 8-8 portal is tomorrow on Saturday. And then we have that whole week, right? Like after that's the week when things really shift, or certainly look that way in the astrology. This is very interesting. Let's see what's in the immediate future. You're not going to believe it. The Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune talks about a change in fortune. Just like that. Just like that. You know, it took George Floyd's televised death to tip the scales on a fight that we've been fighting for generations and generations and generations. It was the tipping point. Um, so Black Lives Matter went from, having to whisper it in fear that, somebody would give you a hard time about it, to now it's getting painted on the streets. Uh, it took that incident. It took an article by Ronan Farrow, whose sister was molested by her. I don't know, it was her stepfather or her father, right? I don't know. Um, so, and he wrote an article about Weinstein, and that changed everything, right? That was the tipping point. So there's all these tipping points that are happening, just like this COVID situation has become a tipping point. And so the energy is such that we are primed for things to shift, and that which was denigrated rises, and that which was deified perhaps comes back down to earth a little. I often wonder, you know, I grew up outside of New York City, and I could sit in my bedroom or in my bathroom and I could see the skyscrapers in New York City. And I always wondered, like, these people who make these decisions that really affect a lot of people's lives, whether it's in business or, technology or politics, they all like sit in these like high rise buildings and look out over the mere ant mortals. How far away from the earth are they, and they make decisions that go against life. And I feel like if they came down from their high, now there's nothing wrong with getting a perspective from a height, but you have to come back down to see, you know, being all up there isn't gonna, it needs to come down in order for it to um, not be self-destructive in a way. So this is the shift. This is the change. This is big. How it's seen from outside. The Nine of Cups. It's about getting your wish. Wish. It's funny because at the beginning, it was the Nine of Swords, and this is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Swords is a negative card because it's all these different, like, nightmare scenarios. That's what that card's about. it's not a real thing. It's a nightmare scenario. We have this nightmare scenario in our heads. And what's coming through the Lion's Gate, I think, is a realization that you don't want to create it. So you don't want it to be the next thing that everybody focuses on. You don't want them to focus on martial law. You don't want them to focus on that Trump's not going to want to leave and that he's going to stay, even though he lost the election. You know, you don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on what it is that you can do to bring happiness and love and joy into the situation. And that changes the fortune. Because the Nine of Cups is a nice card. It's like abundance. It's like, here, I have a cup, you have a cup, everybody can have a cup. A wish fulfilled. And what do most people wish for? Peace of mind, happiness. I mean, I guess people wish for money because they think it's going to bring them happiness and peace of mind. So we're really sort of going for the same thing. It's just that you're using that intermediary when you don't really need to. Domestic situation. Oh wow. This is fun. Aeon. This is the 20/2 vibration that I talked about in the Kabbalah of the Lion's Gate. So this really is a waking up. We are really waking up, people. This is huge. This is huge. This is a symbol. Oops, sorry. I keep forgetting where the camera is. This is Shin. It's fire. And it's like the three flames. Oops, the Trinity. Oops, sorry. The three flames coming up. It's fire. And then this is Perth. The rune, which is Perth is the bag where fate sits. It's like they call it veered. That's what they call it, veered. The unknowable, right? The unknowable. And then we have this baby, oops, in the middle here, being born. So this is huge, folks. This is huge. Hopes and fears. Oh God, this makes me cry. The Empress. The Empress. A return of the goddess. Outcome. The Lovers. Wow. The choice. So they're going to give us the tools. They're going to give us the vision. They're going to give us, and when I say by they, perhaps the Pleiadians, I think the Pleiadians are connected to this Stargate, but I'm not sure. We're going to have everything we need. The only thing that they can't do for us is they can't choose for us. And so it's up to us. So no matter what comes through the Lion's Gate, if you don't choose to use it, it's as if nothing came through the Lion's Gate. So if you really want to stop the craziness, you can. You just have to decide to choose to do it. And so how do you do that? Well, you focus on that which you want to create. You focus on that which you want to see in the world. Do you want to see a peaceful world? Do you want to see a world where animals and human beings live in harmony? Where people don't have to cut down every tree in the neighborhood to build things? Where we can live in harmony with nature? Where we don't take more than we need? We have this, even in my own home, and I am not that acquisitive except for, okay, my husband would disagree, except for books and maybe decks, tarot decks. But I feel like the tarot decks, and I don't have that many. I feel like that's part of like my business expenses, right? Um, but how much my house is full of things that I don't need and I hardly ever use, if I use it all. A lot of it is stuff that my mother had that I brought with her when she came to live with us, so she would feel at home in our home. She would have things around her that connected her to where she had lived her whole life. So there's a lot of that in my house. And when my mother does finally decide to, move on, um, I think I'd feel freer to let go of that stuff. But I have a lot of things that I don't, there's just so much. We have so much. And then there are so many people who have so little. Why can't we live in a harmony where we are connected to abundance, but we don't have to hoard it because we're not getting fulfilled in other ways? I mean, overeating or overspending or overconsumption of drugs and alcohol is a way to, kind of, I guess, access some sort of peace or some sort of sense of fulfillment. But we don't have to go there. You can just do that by opening up to the love in your heart between you and your creator, between you and spirit. It's a choice. I know what I'm choosing, folks. I know what I'm choosing. And that's why I do these readings. I do these readings because I think that if this gets to one person and it shifts their awareness in in a way that can help them to make better decisions for themselves or move within the flow of their life, then that's what I do. That's what I do. And I feel like I I feel like we all have to do what we have to do, right? I have to do this, but I love to do this. It's not even a have to, it's a love to. It's like I love doing this for you guys. I love waking up in the morning, walking through the garden and telling you about the stars. I love that. That's why I do it. If I don't like something, I don't tend to do it. Which is why my house oftentimes is not, well, we wouldn't invite Martha Stewart, right? With or anybody with a white glove. Especially when we had the puppies. I mean, try keeping a house clean with two enormous German shepherds. But so I want to pick an oracle card too, if you don't mind. I have a little. Do you see my little? This is actually behind the desk in my office. The desk really people would come in, so like the front desk, I guess. And I had all this, paperwork, and it just was awful. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna clean that up. Took me a day. I hate to say, but it took me about a day. But like I deep cleaned. It wasn't just like I had a day. It took me a day to get stuff off a table. And so, because I wanted to give you guys a nice backdrop when I'm down in the office, so I set it up. But I have um, this little altar. I'm burning frankincense because that's what I had. I couldn't find anything else. I'm not sure what frankincense is for. I'm gonna have to look it up. If I do, and I'll put it in the description to tell you what frankincense is for, because I don't know it off the top of my head. So I have some frankincense. I have some fluorite, some purple fluorite. This is a nice big piece. I've actually had this piece of fluorite. I don't know if you can see the purple. I gotta get more comfortable. Anyway, it's an enormous piece. I've had this for years. I used to have it in my office back in the 90s under my table. Um, when I would adjust people, I had this big chunk of fluorite. Fluorite helps to align your energy body. Yeah. And this is selenite. This is selenite. It's like a selenite castle, I guess. It's Pretty cool, right? It's interesting how selenite glows, right? Such a beautiful stone. I love selenite. Of course, it's, it's sacred to Selena, the goddess of the moon. So wouldn't I love it as a Cancer? That is a fossil that a friend of mine um, gave me when she moved to Mexico. She could only bring so much stuff with her. So she gave me that fossil. Um, and, who knows how old that is. I'm not exactly sure where she got that. And then this is rainbow obsidian. I don't know if you can see the rainbow in it. You can see that the lighting isn't the best for you to see this. I would probably need some direct light. But this is an obsidian. I love obsidian. Um, I love all kinds of obsidian actually. But it's a protection, but it's rainbow. So it's not as it's a little softer than say silver sheen or gold sheen obsidian. But it's lovely. And then I have the little candle there. So I thought that I would make an altar and then what I do with the oracle cards and then do this reading. So all right. So let me see. I'm gonna pick. I hope you found that interesting. That stuff interesting. I mean, I know it wasn't the reading, but I felt like I needed to share that with you for some reason. So let's do these. This is the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Alberto Villoldo. You know him, right? Colette Baron Reed and Marcella Lobos. These the art on these is gorgeous. That's why I actually purchased them because the art spoke to me. And then I got into the deck and the deck is great. So we're going to pick one card. Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see. I might end up picking more than one, but so this is for the 8-8. 8-8 Lions Gate 20/2 vibration associated with the sign the planet Pluto, which is in Capricorn right now. Transformation of the structures of power. All right. I'll do it this way. We'll let it come out. We'll let the card come out of the deck itself. Talk to me, deck. Beauty way. Beauty way. Okay. I am going to read this and hold it up for you. So let me just open to the page. I'm happy to see. I've never picked Beauty Way, but I'm really happy to see it. And we have here this beautiful lotus blossom and the dragonfly. If anybody follows Shri and Kira on the official Shri and Kira, they talk about the dragonfly being the symbol for 2020. And the dragonfly is the symbol for my husband's healing modality that he does to his receivings. He wants to do another video with me, and I think he's going to do something special for you guys. So after the party, after we're done with my mother's party, we'll be able to sit down and do it. So you guys will enjoy that. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up and read. This is such a beautiful picture. I think you should look at it when I read it. It says, the beauty way is both a path that you travel on and a daily practice. The path is where you choose to perceive only beauty before you. Didn't I say that? I think I said that. If I didn't say that, I meant to say that. This path is where you choose to perceive only beauty before you, behind you, and all around you as you journey through life. This practice is where you take action to bring beauty into every situation you are in. When things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to a difficult encounter. When everyone else perceives only darkness, you point out the light that helps to uncover the hidden treasures. The invitation. The Beauty Way invites you to create beauty in your life and to recognize the beauty inside yourself and others. Stop to smell the roses, take a deep breath, look up to the stars, and recognize the splendor that surrounds you. See the beauty in whatever situation you find yourself in, and you will receive the lessons that life is teaching you in a kind and gentle way. Why? What don't we definitely need to learn these lessons? But how lovely would it be if we could learn them in a kind and gentle way? Instead of having to blow things up. The Nine of Stones fell out of the deck. Oh, let's see what's underneath this deck. I never looked to see. Oh, wow. The Four of Swords. Truce. This is a healing card. It's about healing and balance. In the other decks, the guy's laying like on, looks like on a slab, and he's got the swords behind him, and he's laying like this. It's about repose and rest and healing. The card. It's a stop in the action. So, all right, guys, this was a beautiful reading. I really enjoyed this. I want to also do. I think I want to do a reading on the explosion in Lebanon. Um, Yeah, so I look a little bit of a fright, and I meant to say this in the beginning, but I was doing yard work, getting ready for the party. So this is me after yard work. So all right, guys, I hope you didn't mind that. Like and subscribe, and I will look up frankincense for you and put it in the descriptor. All right, guys, take care.